Hello, I'm Daniel. I am going to read to you a chapter from The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching by Thich Nhat Hanh, and then I'm going to comment on this reading. And this chapter is called Stopping, Calming, Resting, Healing. It's about different kinds of meditation, I think. So, here we go. Buddhist meditation has two aspects: shamatha and vipassana. We tend to stress the importance of vipassana, looking deeply, because it brings us insight and liberates us from suffering and afflictions. But the practice of shamatha, or stopping, is fundamental. If we cannot stop, we cannot have insight. There's a story in Zen circles about a man and a horse. The horse is galloping quickly, and it appears that the man on the horse is going somewhere important. Another man standing alongside the road shouts, "Where are you going?" And the first man replies, "I don't know, ask the horse." This is also our story. We are riding a horse. We don't know where we are going, and we can't stop. The horse is our habit energy pulling us along, and we are powerless. We are always running, and it has become a habit. We struggle all the time, even during our sleep. We are at war within ourselves, and we can easily start a war with others. We have to learn the art of stopping our thinking, our habit energies, our forgetfulness, the strong emotions that rule us. When an emotion rushes through us like a storm, we have no peace. We turn on the TV and then we turn it off. We pick up a book and then we put it down. How can we stop this state of agitation? How can we stop our fear, despair, anger, and craving? We can stop by practicing mindful breathing, mindful walking, mindful smiling, and deep looking in order to understand. When we are mindful, touching deeply the present moment, the fruits are always understanding, acceptance, love, and the desire to relieve suffering and bring joy. But our habit energies are often stronger than our volition. We say and do things we don't want to, and afterwards we regret it. We make ourselves and others suffer, and we bring about a lot of damage. We may vow not to do it again, but we do it again. Why? Because our habit energies, or vashana, push us. We need our energy of mindfulness to recognize and be present with our habit energy in order to stop this course of destruction. With mindfulness, we have the capacity to recognize the habit energy every time it manifests. "Hello, my habit energy, I know you were there." If we just smile to it, it will lose much of its strength. Mindfulness is the energy that allows us to recognize our habit energy and prevent it from dominating us. Forgetfulness is the opposite. We drink a cup of tea, but we do not know we are drinking a cup of tea. We sit with the person we love, but we don't know that she's there. We walk, but we are not really walking. We are someplace else thinking about the past or the future. The horse of our habit energy is carrying us along, and we are its captive. We need to stop our horse and reclaim our liberty. We need to shine the light of mindfulness on everything we do so the darkness of forgetfulness will disappear. The first function of meditation, shamatha, is to stop. The second function of shamatha is calming. When we have a strong emotion, we know it can be dangerous to act, but we don't have the strength or clarity to refrain. We have to learn the art of breathing in and out, stopping our activities, and calming our emotions. We have to learn to become solid and stable like an oak tree and not be blown from side to side by the storm. The Buddha taught many techniques to help us calm our body and mind and look deeply at them. They can be summarized in 5 stages. These are the stages. Number 1, recognition. If we are angry, we say, "I know that anger is in me." Number 2, acceptance. When we are angry, we do not deny it, we accept what is present. Number 3, embracing. We hold our anger in our 2 arms like a mother holding her crying baby. Our mindfulness embraces our emotion, and this alone can calm our anger and ourselves. Number 4, looking deeply. When we are calm enough, we can look deeply to understand what has brought this anger to be, what is causing our baby's discomfort. Number 5, insight. The fruit of looking deeply is understanding the many causes and conditions, primary and secondary, that have brought about our anger, that are causing our baby to cry. Perhaps our baby is hungry. Perhaps his diaper pin is piercing his skin. Our anger was triggered when our friend spoke to us meanly, and suddenly we remember he was not at his best today because his father is dying. We reflect like this until we have some insights into what has caused our suffering. With insight, we know what to do and what not to do to change the situation. After calming, the third function of shamatha is resting. Suppose someone standing alongside a river throws a pebble in the air and it falls down into the river. The pebble allows itself to sink slowly and reach the riverbed without any effort. Once the pebble is at the bottom, it continues to rest, allowing the water to pass by. When we practice sitting meditation, we can allow ourselves to rest just like that pebble. We can allow ourselves to sink naturally into the position of sitting, resting without effort. We have to learn the art of resting, allowing our body and mind to rest. If we have wounds in our body or our mind, we have to rest so they can heal themselves. Calming allows us to rest, and resting is a precondition for healing. When animals in the forest get wounded, they find a place to lie down. And they rest completely for many days. They don't think about food or anything else. They just rest. And they get the healing they need. When we humans get sick, we just worry. We look for doctors and medicine, but we don't stop. Even when we go to the beach or the mountains for a vacation, we don't rest. We come back more tired than before. We have to learn to rest. Lying down is not the only position for resting. During sitting or walking meditation, we can rest very well. Meditation does not have to be hard labor. Just allow your body and mind to rest like an animal in the forest. Don't struggle. There is no need to attain anything. I'm writing a book, but I am not struggling. I'm reading a book, but I'm not struggling. I am resting also. Please read in a joyful yet restful way. The Buddha said, "My dharma is the practice of non-practice. Practice in a way that does not tire you out, but gives your body, emotions, and consciousness a chance to rest." Our body and mind have the capacity to heal themselves if we allow them to rest. Stopping, calming, and resting are preconditions for healing. If we cannot stop, the course of our destruction will just continue. The world needs healing. Individuals, communities, and nations need healing. So, first of all, he's talking about why we're meditating, right? This is an argument for mindfulness, for being mindful in your life. Being mindful in your life is good, right? And, well, I think we know that. But in the world today, I think he's right in that busyness is glorified. We're expected to be on. We sort of expect ourselves to be on and busy all the time. I have had that experience he talks about where you go on vacation and you don't rest and you get home and you're exhausted and then you have to go back to work. I've definitely had that experience because we do non-restful things, and that's okay, but we need to take it easy because we do what's called multitasking. We try to do that, and the truth is that doesn't work. That doesn't work. People will say, I'm a really good multitasker, but the truth is that doesn't work. If you're doing multiple things at the same time, one of them is getting the short end of the stick. If not all the things you're doing, at least one of them is getting the short end of the stick, is getting not the attention it needs, right? So also he's talking about how we need different forms of meditation, or different goals at least, right? We need calming and stabilizing, but we need insight as well. And there are Buddhist traditions that focus on one or the other exclusively. There are some Buddhist teachers that do that, and he's saying no, we should not do that. We need calming and we need insight. We need them both. We need to rest our minds and then bring them insight. One, one without the other is not going to bring us where we want to go. So we need to have a calm mind, but also an aware or an insightful mind. And I think that that's important. We don't want to lose that both of these are important. And that could easily be lost to us in the world today, because there are teachers who teach just one. So shamatha helps us stop and helps us rest. And vipassana brings us insight and helps us get liberated from suffering and afflictions. And these are both really important. And he also talked about forgetfulness. He calls it forgetfulness, but I want to call it more sleepwalking. That is, we go through life and we're not aware of the world around us. We get lost and confused very easily. And my big examples of this are somebody will say, oh, my daughter just started driving and it seems like just yesterday she was in diapers. Well, and the person really saying that really feels that way. That's not an exaggeration. It's because they've been sleepwalking through life and time's just passing by. And another example of that, maybe a more relatable one, is if you've ever been driving in your car to somewhere you've been before and suddenly you're just there and you don't remember the trip. That is sleepwalking. That is mindless driving. And that, I think, harms a lot of people in the world. But that's sort of what I wanted to address, is that kind of sleepwalking through life. I call it sleepwalking through life, or I call it living in the daydream. That is, we're not present. We're not present. And he uses the term forgetfulness, and I think that's good too. We forget to be present. We forget to be here with what's happening, and instead we're mentally somewhere else. We've forgotten that we should be here with what's happening. We should be here. And if you've ever, another example of this is if you've ever had a conversation, been talking to someone that you really care about, and you really care about what they have to say, and you realize midway through this that you're just daydreaming. You're not listening to them, even a little, and you've just totally lost track. That is an example of mindlessness. That is an example of sleepwalking. You're just not being attentive, even when it's someone you really care about and you really want to. Sometimes we're still not doing it. Or the other thing we do in conversation is we wait to talk, and we don't listen in that sense either. We think about the story we're going to tell when they're done. And that's not mindful speech. That's not good. So that's it for today. This has been Chapter 6, Stopping, Calming, Resting, Healing, from the book, The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching. And I really cannot recommend this book enough. This is a wonderful book. It's easy to read and it has depth. So that's it. Thank you for taking the time to listen.